In late January 2026, Winter Storm Fern caused significant disruption across the United States, forcing several major cruise lines to adjust their operations. While the ships themselves remained fully operational, the storm's impact on ports, transportation networks, and passenger logistics led to itinerary changes, early returns, and heightened monitoring of multiple voyages. The most notable case involved Harmony of the Seas, operated by Royal Caribbean International. The ship was sailing a Western Caribbean cruise that was scheduled to depart from and return to Galveston, Texas. The original itinerary included planned visits to Cozumel, Mexico, along with other Caribbean destinations before returning to Texas. However, as Winter Storm Fern intensified and forecasts showed severe winter conditions approaching the Gulf Coast, Royal Caribbean decided to alter the voyage. To avoid the worst of the storm and ensure passengers could safely return home, the cruise was ended earlier than planned. As a result, the scheduled call to Cozumel was canceled, and the ship returned directly to Galveston ahead of schedule. The decision was driven not by conditions at sea, but by concerns over snow, ice, airport closures, and road conditions in Texas that could have stranded thousands of passengers after disembarkation. At the same time, Carnival Cruise Line placed 2 of its ships under active weather monitoring due to the projected path of Winter Storm Fern. One of them, Carnival Jubilee, was scheduled to operate Caribbean cruises from Galveston, Texas, with a planned itinerary including ports such as Cozumel and other destinations in the Western Caribbean. Despite the worsening forecasts, no immediate itinerary changes were announced, although guests were warned that weather conditions could still impact departure or port calls if the storm intensified. Another vessel affected by the storm's uncertainty was Carnival Sunshine, which was scheduled to sail from Norfolk, Virginia on a cruise to the Bahamas and the Caribbean. The planned itinerary included tropical ports such as Nassau and other island destinations. While the ship ultimately remained on schedule, Carnival issued advisories informing passengers that Winter Storm Fern could affect embarkation, travel to the port, or future itinerary adjustments depending on local conditions. Following the itinerary changes caused by Winter Storm Fern, cruise lines introduced compensation measures to address passenger inconvenience. Royal Caribbean International confirmed that guests aboard Harmony of the Seas, whose cruise was shortened and whose planned call at Cozumel, Mexico was canceled, received refunds of port fees and prepaid shore excursions, along with prorated refunds or onboard credit for the missed day of the voyage. The company stated that while the changes were weather-related, compensation was offered as a goodwill gesture to maintain passenger satisfaction. In contrast, Carnival Cruise Line did not immediately issue compensation for passengers aboard Carnival Jubilee and Carnival Sunshine, as both ships remained operational and did not officially cancel ports at the time. Carnival advised guests that standard policies would apply if disruptions occurred, including refunds for canceled excursions and port fees, while travel delays related to flights or ground transportation were generally covered through travel insurance rather than direct cruise line reimbursement. In all cases, the primary concern for cruise lines was not the ship's ability to sail, but the broader impact of Winter Storm Fern on home ports and passenger travel. Severe winter weather can shut down airports, block highways, and limit port operations, creating logistical challenges even when conditions at sea remain manageable. Winter Storm Fern ultimately demonstrated how vulnerable cruise itineraries can be to extreme winter weather in North America. Harmony of the Seas became the only ship to officially shorten its voyage and cancel a planned port call, while Carnival Jubilee and Carnival Sunshine continued operations under close observation. The situation served as a reminder that itinerary changes are often driven by shore-based conditions rather than ocean weather alone.